family. Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Mellow Economic News. Alright, family, it is 4:04 in the morning. Alright, so let's go ahead and get it started. Alright, family, we're going to start off with the futures markets. We've seen the last 2 days that the markets closed, they were up and about, trying to save what's left over of the market. But this morning, we're looking at the futures. Dow future is down just over 1.5%. It's down 327 points. The Nasdaq futures they're down 120, but 120 and a half, about 120.50, down about just over 1.5%. The S&P futures are down negative 45.25. They are almost about negative 1.87%, almost 2% down. So we see futures are down all across the board, and they're looking at when the unemployment numbers come out. That's what they're causing for, seem like the blame for the lower stock market going down, because the unemployment numbers are getting ready to come out. U.S. jobless rates getting ready to come out. All right, switching over, let's stay with the government. All right, Senate passes $2 trillion coronavirus stimulus bill. The Senate passed it, and now it looks like it's going to the House. Let's take a look what's actually in this bill. All right, some of the things that they just put in the bill. The package provides direct payments to lower and middle income Americans of $1,200 for each adult, as well as $500 for each child. It says the Democrats were able to secure a change from the previous version that allows low income taxpayers to get the full $1,200 payment. Unemployment insurance payments were boosted, and recipients would be eligible to receive those funds for an average of up to 4 months. So unemployment has been going to get this money for up to 4 months, people. All right, up from 3 months prior to the 3 months in the prior GOP plan. So they got it from 3 months to 4 months. All right, don't count on that lasting. Take care of business, family. All right. It will also extend eligibility to self-employed workers in the gig economy as drivers in Uber technology. Basically trying to help out all the Google and Lyft drivers out there and all the other companies that do where people can actually go in and register be a driver, to be their own taxi service. All right. All right. Struggling U.S. airlines will be eligible to receive the federal loans as direct cash assistance if they were willing to give an option. If they are willing to give an option for ownership stake in the government, stake to the government. Basically, we're looking at a nationalization. Airlines can get it, but the government, they have to agree that the government is coming in and taking over some of their companies. All right. I agree with some of the major players in the who are getting out there saying that if you are a company and you need a bailout, tough luck. You should have protected yourself. Stop coming to the taxpayers, and asking for money. All right. You want a piece of taxpayer money, and you must agree that the people need to take control of your company. The government is taking control of it. I don't think the government should be involved with it, but if you want this is what happens. That means you want a piece of the action. You got to give up some pieces. I don't want that money that they pass and should go directly to we the people, not corporations. All right. Small businesses, they'll get some of this cash. Healthcare, pretty much this is a wide swath what the stimulus bill is. They're gonna give it a go around, and pretty much everybody's gonna get a piece of it. Amtrak is trying to get involved with it. They haven't turned a profit in almost 50 years, but they were just about ready to start turning a profit because people wanted other modes of travel than airplanes, and now they're hurting. So now they're coming to get a piece of the action as well too. All right. Fed buys $587 billion in bonds this past week, which is 2.7 of GDP, just as foreign banks start to liquidate. All right. Having moved not from QE or QE4 as it's correctly been called, to the $750 billion to quantitative easing 5 or QE or quantitative easing forever or QE forever, which came and went in the blink of an eye, to the Fed's open-ended and unlimited QE to infinity in the span of 1 week. The full shock and awe of the Fed's money printer is now full display, and not just in the past week. from March 19th to March 25th, the Fed has purchased 25th, March, that's yesterday, 587 billion in securities, in treasuries, and 320 billion in roughly other issues that they purchased. All right, and roughly 2.7%, and they've purchased almost 21.4 trillion in the U.S. GDP. All right, they purchased that much. All right, family. So they talking about they ain't got no money for us. Trust me, they got money. They just playing around. This means at the close of Wednesday, when accounting for last week's repo operation, the Fed balance sheets has increased roughly $650 billion, bringing it to just over 5.3 trillion, and increases of 1.2 trillion in the past week, roughly 5.6% of the total U.S. GDP, or gross domestic product. All right, they got money for everything, family. They pulling out all the stops to try to save the economy. All right, the U.S. economy and the central banks around the world are doing the same thing, trying to save theirs. All right, they're trying to just go to QE and QE. Every country has its name different, but essentially in the U.S., QE, quantitative easing, or if you want to call it, they're trying to get helicopter money too, just dumping money everywhere. But all it does, family, is, if you really think about it, the less money, the less currency is in the overall economy, the value of that money goes up. Your purchasing power goes up. The more of that paper currency that you have in circulation, the less it becomes. The value of it goes down. That's why you're seeing so many products in price go up, because you got so much of this fiat paper currency in circulation that it has no purchasing power anymore. All right, this all goes back to the 1913 Federal Reserve Act. As soon as we got the Federal Reserve Act, the money started. The U.S. currency has continued to go down. That's why you're seeing the purchasing power doesn't go too far anymore. All right, so you can be happy we're getting this little money, but be wary that expect prices to go up on almost everything you want to go buy and purchase. All right, family. All right, let's stay on this right here, and this is something that most people need to kind of pay attention to. All right, Cape Cod, Hamptons, overwhelmed by rich Americans fleeing to their summer homes. Family, what's going on with that? All right, this has everything to do with economic news. What do rich folks know that we don't, that we down here are not paying attention to? The rich are fleeing the major cities. They're fleeing everywhere. All right, we are getting those reports. Well, over here at the Melanated Economic News Channel, we are getting those reports that they had that not only this article I'm reading to you right now, but the rich have been flying to Cape Cod, the Hamptons. They've been flying to Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, anywhere they can to get out of the area, to get out of these major cities. All right, family. So they know some stuff is coming. Family, please, I urge you to please get ready. Once the reality of the coronavirus outbreak finally started to sink in across the U.S., hundreds of thousands of wealthy Americans with the means to do so decided to get out of Dodge. Get the hell out of. Literally, it says get the hell out of Dodge. All right, this is zerohedge.com. All right, and bolt to their summer homes in less densely populated places like the Hamptons and Kennebunkport. Traveling by plane or by trains or by road, depending on the options available at the time, city slickers fled to the country. But many didn't really think it through, because instead of being somewhere safer and less densely populated, they're now all cramming onto those tiny islands in Martha's Vineyard. All right. Some of them didn't think it through. Some of these super rich folks got smart, and they got their homes hidden out in the mountains and in the deeply heavily wooded areas of the country and everything else. They're readouts where they can hide out, because they know what's coming, family. All right, they're getting ready. They're getting prepared. All right. All right. But because instead of being somewhere safer and less densely populated, they're now clamoring to those tiny islands like Martha's Vineyard, where medical resources and much more scarce than in well-populated suburbs. All right. Yes, you do have some of the supplies and stuff in the suburbs, but how fast you think that's going to run out? All right. When things get desperate, people do desperate things. All right. Get ready, family. Trust me. If you start seeing all these uber rich folks, even some of the lower rich folks flee flee the big major areas, and they're not even hanging in the suburbs. They're getting out and going to the redoubt areas, the mountains and the wooded areas. That's how you know something is going on. All right. All right, we're gonna switch over to, let's talk about gold. All right, precious metals. Sorry about that. The computer's kind of slow. All right. All right. Pretty much. Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs says it's time to buy gold. All right. This is an article from. This is another article from Market Watch. All right. No, I'm sorry, mistakenly. Uh, Market Watch. Pretty much, gold, bullion dealers are out of gold. All right, there is no gold, says John Stratus Partners. Sorry, my computer going slow. All right. There is no gold, says Josh Stratus, partner at management at money manager Perkins Hardy Stratus in Chicago, and a bullion fan. There is no gold. There is roughly 10% premium to purchase physical gold for delivery. Usually, it's like 2%. It went from 2% premium to now to 10%. All right, I can buy an ounce of 1 ounce American Eagle for $1,800, says John Strauss. $1,800. All right, we got down here Kiko. The Canadian gold dealing giant reported Wednesday that it was out of almost all standard 1 ounce gold coins. American Eagles, Buffaloes, issued by the U.S. Mint, were out of stock. It reported. Ditto Canadian Maple Leafs, issued by the Royal Canadian Mint. Britannias, issued by the Royal Mint of Great Britain, and Kangaroos, issued by Australia. All right, folks, that is big. That is big major news. All right, you can go. You can't buy gold. They're buying up gold left and right. All right, precious metals, gold, silver, palladium, platinum, copper. They were all used as hedges to safeguard people's wealth. All right, I was just recently on the government mint website. All right, and you can go in there and buy silver. You can go in and buy silver. You don't have to play the like some of the others as we reported that you need a $299 minimum sale. You can actually go into the mint site and you can actually go in and still get you some smaller 1 ounce silver coins. All right, but this is really big, family. Gold is now, you can barely find gold now. All right, family. When gold runs out, that means that people are gonna start bouncing down to the next thing they can afford. That is silver. All right. Some of us can't afford to buy gold, so we automatically go down to silver. All right. All right. And the final story, like Goldman Sachs says, it's time to buy gold. Family, that means it's probably already too late to buy gold. Most of these big major banks, the 6 major banks in the U.S., Goldman Sachs, Citi, J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and some of the major others. Even Deutsche Bank is the German bank who's having major issues. All right, they're all buying up gold, and they're telling people now it's time to buy gold. That means they bought what they feel like they got, and now it's time to spread the word to everybody else. All right, most people won't pay attention to this, but please pay attention and spread the word, family. All right. I want to thank you for joining me for another episode of Melanated Economic News. Thank you again, family. Please get ready, family. I urge you to please get ready. Start protecting your families. Get together as a community, and let's look out for each other. All right. Thank you, family, for joining me. See you after the 10 to 15 of darkness. All right. Let's get it started.